It's been an absolutely crazy day between the news of Justin Trudeau being investigated by the RCMP for something that happened, a massive scandal back in 2019, and to question period where Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives just laid into Trudeau. Surprisingly, not as much as what I would have expected or hoped for, since they still to this day bring up blackface witches. I mean, it is what it is. It's still pretty funny, but I really thought they would hound him since it was like breaking news right before question period. A little disappointed in that factor. It's just been a crazy day, and as you can see, I'm still working on the same coffee from this morning. Holy crap. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before I get into it, I want to encourage you to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps grow the channel. We're like a sliver hair away from 300,000 subscribers, which is insane. There is no other Canadian only news channel that is this big. So my hat is off to you. Speaking of hats, if you'd like to have a matching one, the link for that is down in the description as well. The merch site is just selling out. Like, be careful what you choose to buy because things are selling out and there are a lot of things on back order because of that. So just be aware of what it says on the screen when you choose to check out. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the update, or we're actually going to take a look at the RCMP official statement of what they had to say about this. This is like insane what's happening because there's leaked emails and everything. Like this is not being blown out of proportion the way it should be, but I suspect it will by Tuesday and Wednesday. I think other party leaders are just going to jump on this and it's just going to go crazy. But because I'm like one of the first people to jump on it, I'm just kind of waiting to see where everyone else is, but it will come. It will come. Democracy Watch. This is the tweet that just sent everything down a crazy spiral. After 4 years, RCMP confirms it is investigating Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other Liberal cabinet members for obstruction of SNC-Lavalin prosecution. 86 pages of 96-page access to Information Act request document fully redacted. Now, we're actually going to go into this. Now, it's part of my job to get the information in a consumable way and digest or give that to you in a digestible manner in and around 10 minutes. And well, it's kind of weird because I'm having to be like super nerdy about this and read these massive documents, but I've done it. I've read this massive document. Oh, I'm such a nerd, but here we go. Here is the actual statement from Democracy Watch's website. RCMP confirms is investigating obstruction. Okay, we know that. So the link, if you want to get this, by the way, I don't put links to my stuff in my description. There's just so many links and so little time to actually do this between running 3 channels. But this is democracywatch.ca. You can just type in Democracy Watch, RCMP, and you can pull this up and we can just you can follow along. So where you want to find the response letters in this first paragraph. For immediate release, Monday, June 19th, probably today at the time of this posting, since this is the update video, you can see RCMP's response letter is highlighted. So when you click on that, it brings you to, well, let me just click on it there. It brings you to here. So you've got Democracy Watch made an official letterhead. This is in response to a request under the Access to Information Act, which was received by the office on July 22nd, 2022 to obtain, as it did in February 21, in a letter to the RCMP. Democracy Watch again requests records with regards to 2 decisions made concerning the examination and any subsequent investigations that have been undertaken, and all decisions concerning prosecution, anyone involved in the situation of the allegations that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, former Finance Minister Bill Morneau, some members of their staff, and former Clerk of the Privy Council Michael Wernick obstructed justice by pressuring then Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould to stop the prosecution of SNC-Lavalin. Okay, now where does this get leaked information? Well, when you scroll down, I had it stamped somewhere. I must have lost it. That's okay. When you scroll down, you actually find a letter from Brenda Lucki, the commissioner, I guess the previous commissioner of the RCMP. Request for public update concerning the state of examination of the allegation that Prime Minister Trudeau and other federal government officials obstruct justice by pressuring the Attorney General to stop the prosecution of SNC-Lavalin. Dear Commissioner Luckley, Democracy Watch requests a public update from the RCMP and Crown prosecutors concerning the state of examination of the allegations that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, former Finance Minister Bill Monroe. Okay, we've already been through that. The Ethics Commissioner's investigation blocked, so incomplete. And when you scroll down even further, you find RCMP received allegations of obstruction of justice. Other lawyers agree. The RCMP received 2 requests to examine the actions of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the other officials. The first came in a letter from 5 former attorney generals on February 28, 2019, which can be seen right there, and which stated that per section 139, subsection 2 of the Criminal Code, it is prohibited to attempt to obstruct, pervert, or defeat the course of justice. We believe that there are reasonable and probable grounds to suspect that the conduct of the Prime Minister's office has crossed that threshold. And concerning another form of obstruction of justice, it is contrary to the section 423.1, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code to engage in any conduct with the intent to provoke fear in the Attorney General. Now, Justin Trudeau is known for not treating women accordingly, right? We've seen this before with his blackface impersonation, which wasn't women related, but it was still something that crossed the line. With his former job as a substitute drama teacher at West Point Grey, I mean, it's kind of like a high school or like a middle school bully who's a high school bully, who's like a college university bully. Chances are there's still bullies down the road, especially if they're given a lot of power. Like, I don't know, off the top of my head, Justin Trudeau. And he's been a bully to women, where even in the House of Commons, like within the past 5 or 10 years, he elbowed a woman in the chest area and just brushed it off and publicly apologized, even though he didn't want to. He mistreats women all the time. So there's absolute grounds, reasonable grounds to believe, just off of that basis alone, that Justin Trudeau allegedly threatened the Attorney General. And then all of this other evidence is coming up, and it's just crazy what's happening. And it's amazing that the RCMP has actually began the investigation. It really just, it gives people hope that, oh, Canada isn't lost. We thought that RCMP was corrupt. And don't get me wrong, there are parts of the RCMP that are absolutely corrupt, but it still gives us a little glimmer of hope. And I'm a Star Wars fan, and I just, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. Like Democracy Watch, you're our only hope. I'm a sucker for a little bit of hope. I don't want to give up just yet. Court should be allowed to decide whether the line was crossed. As mentioned above, the obstruction of justice provision, subsection 139, subsection 2 of the Criminal Code that applies in the situation can be seen at, there's the link. What should the RCMP and prosecutors decide to do in such a situation? First of all, it is clear that the situation warrants a full investigation. Given the pressure on the Attorney General was intentionally applied to stop a prosecution of a company that had clearly violated the law. Secondly, the test for deciding to prosecute is whether there is a reasonable prospect of a conviction and whether it is in the public interest. And so a lot of people, again, just think that this is just another thing, right? Oh, nothing is going to come of this. Trudeau will get away, right? It's not going to stick. Stop clickbaiting us. You're just blowing this out of proportion. No, we're not, because this is real, and he's broken criminal code. He's broken ethics violations. And in the States, in America, you see people pursuing this, and it actually kind of comes into something, it turns into something, right? Donald Trump getting indicted and all of those things. I don't agree with them at all, but I'm saying that everything that they could was thrown to him and stuck to the wall, and it's slowly been peeled off. But I mean, in Canada, the same thing can and should be done to Justin Trudeau. In America, it should still be done to Joe Biden. Of course, they're both equally, like pretty messed up people, but this actually can turn into something. We just need to add social pressure to the situation. Now, you might be thinking, what do I have anything to do with this? Well, the resignation of David Johnston proved that social pressure and the three party leaders, the opposition party leaders, Bloc Québécois, NDP, and the Conservative Party leader, all coming together collectively with the public opinion backing that side, saying, hey, David Johnston is not fit for this job. It's a clear conflict of interest. That, in my own personal opinion, was enough for David Johnston to say, screw this, man. My reputation is getting ruined by this. I'm stepping away, whether the Liberals told him to do that or not. And so I am really, really optimistic that social pressure plays a massive factor in this. Seeing how many tweets are trending on a topic doesn't really make a difference. But these tweets, this virality gets people riled up. People pick up the phone and they call their local MP. They send in emails, and that becomes overwhelming because you might not do that, but other people watching, they have enough fuel in the burning sensation to actually do that. And when you get one email, 100 emails, 1,000 emails, it's like, holy crap, something must be done. So that's why I'm a very, very optimistic to the proponent of social pressure, which is what should in my opinion, get done or be done with this. Given the pressure applied to the Attorney General was aimed at stopping a prosecution by the Federal Public Prosecution Service, PPS, it should not be making any decision. It should not be making any decisions concerning prosecutions in the situation. However, the PPS desk book that sets out its prosecution policy can still serve as a useful guide to prosecution decisions in the situation. The desk book can be seen at this link. All right. So the PPS desk book states that the following factors should be considered to determine whether a prosecution is in the public interest. This is the one. If you're going to clip anything or remember anything, it should be this part right here, even though we're pretty deep into the video. The seriousness of the offense, the harm it caused the victim and society in any way, the degree of responsibility of the accused, whether they were in a position of authority or trust. Bing, 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 bing. The need to protect confidential information, and whether a prosecution is needed to maintain confidence in the justice system. All roads are leading to Trudeau is guilty. Now, is this enough to get him out of office? That's the lingering question. And the answer to that is, I don't know. But if he's accused of breaking the criminal code, and if it were to stick, I mean, that's really going to change dramatically the outcome of the next election if it's not enough to get him out of office immediately. And as much as we want him out yesterday or last year, or if we could just have those men in black pens and forget Justin Trudeau's existence in totality, then yes, of course, that's what we would be advocating for. But the reality is, or as liberals like to say, let me be clear, that might not be the reality of this situation. He might just be able to go on until the next election and still run for office. But if this investigation were to turn into something, then bye Trudeau, but it's over. It's going to be over, and liberals are going to be like, oh my God, our prime minister is actually guilty of that? Whoa, that's crazy. And for a lot of normies, that's going to hit them like a train in the face. So this is fantastic news. And I encourage you to share these videos, comment, like, and engage, put them on Twitter, share them to Facebook, wherever you can, because again, social pressure, I think, is a massive proponent to, wrapping things up. And speaking of wrapping things up, that's where we're going to end this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you want to support the channel financially, you can do so by checking out the merch shop linked right up there. Or if you want to do something for free, which is also absolutely acceptable and highly encouraged, you can subscribe right there. If you want to continue watching videos like this, you can do so by clicking or tapping right there to watch the next upcoming video. And if you want to watch a little bit of different content, but also Canadian stuff, you can do so by clicking right up there. That's my second channel, House of Canada, also known as the House of Commons Highlights. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.